Okay guys, there are 7 cards in Is Your Ex Coming Back spread. As you know, this is really meant for the people who actually want their exes to come back, or maybe even wondering what is going on in their head, because they sometimes use it for relationships, especially relationships that are on and off, and that way we find out. So these cards are called significators, meaning I picked them, and I picked them not to read them, but sort of like to read a category. Just think of them as a title on a beginning of the chapter. So altogether, they're sort of giving me the story, that entire book. I picked the first card, the Magician. In this category, not to go into details, if you order the spread, I'm going to explain in way more details what basically I meant behind this. But in short is, if this relationship was ever a go, are you swimming like up the stream and trying to make something live that really shouldn't be? Temperance card is here reversed for a reason, because upright temperance means, hey, I can glue anything, I can work on anything. So obviously this is talking about ungluing, and this is going to tell me what exactly you really need to repair in this relationship if this is ever to go. And this is if this category is really telling me, you know, green light. Then I have a Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands as significators. It could be either or. One can be you, one can be a partner that you are inquiring about. And this is the energy and the flow of information and the flow of thoughts in between the two. So now I see the Judgment, and this is like the biggie, because yeah, you know, that's that extra information. Okay, what was meant to be learned in this relationship? What lessons you have to absorb, right? Even if this is not meant to be, like, there are still lessons to do it, right? You know what they say, we meet somebody for a reason, for a season, or for a lifetime. And then lastly, we have Four of Wands, and Four of Wands is really talking about where is this heading. So this is a short and sweet explanation, and if you basically watch this first, now it is a good time to go back and see the entire reading. Love you. Alright, Leo, your shuffling just collapsed. It just, recording didn't stick. So yeah, Mercury retrograde, I think this is the last day, and I mostly get affected during the beginning and the ending of Mercury, so during the shadow. So sorry about that, but it was like really nothing eventful, nothing really jumped out. So Leo, there's like really interesting reading. This is like strongly right out of the gate from what I see over here. Ace of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Death, Six of Cups. There is this Mercury retrograde flavor, the Magician reverse, the Sun, and Queen of Swords. That could be people in your life that you're simply kind of like relegating to the sidelines from what I see. Look at you. You and the person over here are sort of like feeling in a completely different stages, right? You're kind of like feeling that maybe your attitudes or maybe something you have done didn't serve you well, and you feel that something kind of like really shook you up to the point of you're not being who you are, and you're not finding the place in this universe. Like, I mean, maybe you have been meticulously building something up, and then something pops up and things don't really work out. As I was shuffling, the only thing was like I had this word flashing, and I had it during the last reading for Gemini as well. For them I had commitment, engagement, and for you I have children, right? And there's like something, and then I'm also seeing children and children and children over here, like right there laying down in front of me. So I'm kind of like really trying to see if I'm just simply going nuts with all these words appearing to me, or I tell you. So, you know, you guys be the judge. Ace of Wands is like clearly a very phallic symbol, as you can tell. And somebody holding it, well, question is, what are you doing with it? The Ace of Wands is also a very positive ace, which really talks about something, you know, pushing it through the new growth spur. And generally it refers to the old kind of like happenings, old relationships. Another thing that you also have new and old. So let's say the cycle, new and old. So sometimes we just continue having the new thing, but it turns out that we are dealing with the same old problems, as I call it, a new person in an old body. So we are dealing with the same issues. But look at this, you have a 1, which is numerology value of 1. Then you have a 10, which is also 1, and 0 is 1. Then you have 1 again. Then you have 19. 1 and 9 is 10. 1 and 0 is 1. So then 10, 10, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is like a shift that is going on. It's almost like there is, and I love that the fact that the sun, your card, like your ruler, the sun showed up over here like on the white horse, this beautiful child, and feeling protected. It tells me that maybe you have been going through the phase where you felt unhinged. You felt, oh my freaking God, I'm falling apart. Almost like the vision that I saw was the old dilapidated barn with the door kind of like falling down. You know, like we all have the fences or backyard doors that kind of like lean down, that you need to lift them up to kind of like really open them, right? But it also feels like, I also had the image of you sitting in a beautiful chair in front of that barn or whatever it was and basking in the sun. So I really think ultimately the message is that you're finding yourself, you're finding your energy, you're going from this like darkness, the death, kind of like attitude card to the sun. So that card upright is also a really good card. Can you see here the sun is actually starting to show? You see it here in the background. Also, what is really interesting is like how we react to different things. When people see this card, they go, oh no, I cannot take it, blah blah blah. I don't read this card. It simply tells me that something that I have been doing just can no longer be done in that way. So something has to be reshifted, and it's done for your highest good. It is giving you option to do it yourself, and this is in a stage 13, right? Because that's the card 13. If you choose not to do that, then in stage 16 it's going to do it for you with the Tower card, and you're not going to like it. So what's happening here? Look, some things are kind of like needing to kind of like be dead, as you can see the dead corpse over here. I don't know how many of you see that there is also a ship, and the ship is crossing over, right? It's all this kind of like bound in certain things. So we see here different things. We see somebody kind of praising. This is almost like some kind of like God statue, which is kind of like the Hierophant standing right here. But look at the children. One cannot stand it. One is like amused and almost like intrigued with it. So it is our attitude, how we do it. But why would you think, look at this, this is the Moon card. You see this like, pearls gates. So there's the entrance, have you been good, have you been bad? But what is really to me interesting about this quote-unquote pearls gates, and I don't know if they did it purposely, I think this should have been mountainous regions behind, but honestly I see this as the city. I see this as something completely new going on. And then there is the rose. So what is the symbol of Leo? Rose and a sunflower. And you have them both over here. So when I start seeing this over here for you, I really thought it's almost like rebirth. I don't know what you have been going through, Leos. It almost looks like when the Magician reversed and the Ace of Wands, that somebody deflated you, deflated your dreams, deflated your vision of family, deflated that the children word it was like flashing in front of me, that you did not feel, you know, like you praise your generosity, you praise like how beautiful life can be. There's like this celebration about you, like celebration about your sign, right? And I know I can tell because like my moon is in Leo and my sun is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is being almost the opposite of Leo. We question everything, and you guys are just like opening arms to everything, and we are like skeptics over everything. But luckily I have that moon in Leo, which kind of like gives me emotional, I guess, maturity, luckily. Otherwise, oh, I'm screwed, kind of a thing. Queen of Swords is clearly kind of like thinking process, and it's really telling me that you have been thinking about this on all levels. You have Pentacles, so something was not only affecting you but was affecting people around you. You simply don't have energy or even will to push it forward. And even the Magician here, which is showing up here for this person, it doesn't look like that person wants to do that either. However, this person has been here shown as a manipulator. The Magician reversed to me is the ultimate person who is going to say whatever needed to get what they want. And so be very careful, especially if you're dealing with somebody, I don't know, like I'm seeing a few signs over here. I'm seeing air signs. I'm seeing possibly another Leo if this is not you, Gemini, Sagittarius, and a Scorpio. Just this is like the strongest kind of like level coming through. The Six of Cups, when it reverses like this, it is a card that really indicates nostalgia. See, we see the children here as well. I don't know like what is all about it, like, because being reversal, it is like almost like, you know, sometimes like the quote that I had in the beginning, that the light is finally coming through, whether it is an eye or is a soul. That's what I'm seeing in your reading. I'm seeing that in every reading. That quote I woke up with, and I said, I have to really see how this really reflects. And I have seen it in each and every reading. For you, it's one of the strongest one, with the sun really shining through. You were looking for the little kind of like, almost like spark in the darkness, and it's coming through. And I really think it is coming through for you in a sense that you are, it's a realization of life is good and I can do it. And looking back and realizing that maybe it was almost like a figment of your imagination, almost like that you were chasing mirage in a desert and something never existed, and all of a sudden that whole infatuation just goes away, because you're realizing, well, wait a minute, I insisted on something. I loved somebody who just wasn't present, who was not there standing up to be counted, who was not what I thought he or she is. And the realization of that is just like such a big revelation that you're able to immediately kind of like snap out of that veil. Interestingly enough, that also talks about codependency, when sometimes we get stuck, when you feel we cannot get through at all, right? So now you have 2 sixes showing up, because looks like this person was really near and dear to you. You're also having a 2 twos, really talking about indecision. But it looks like this person maybe had 2 choices and they just couldn't make their mind up. They couldn't. And as for you, I guess it was like too much of a burden. You just couldn't fight anymore. And it could have actually have religious aspects, or it just hasn't been wise anymore to continue this. Well, calling in the High Priestess card can also talk about children, especially if the Empress shows up. She can simply be a daughter of some sort. But the High Priestess is like the person who says, okay, I'm so glad that you told me you love me, but you didn't call me when you said you would, and you know how much this means to me. I have been sick, you know, it would just help. So she's looking in how people behave. Who is this? What's her name? Maya Angelou, is she? Who says, watch how people, you know, watch also people what they say. They're going to tell you who they are. But this is more like, watch what they do. I actually believe that we need to do both. I believe that this only way is to see if they kind of like merge. This is pretty much the how the courtroom works, where you try to ask the same question from different directions. So if you say this is the sun, and you ask from this side, and this is the sun and the sun and the sun, and then here it's like turning out it isn't and it isn't, then it looks like it's maybe just some kind of like veneer that somebody's trying to kind of like cover something up. Like, there is like a clearly, there were lots of issues, and I have seen, look at this, you have yet another 10 and yet another 1. There is like a huge shift happening to you in how you comprehend this person. I don't know if they have been the devil in your life, or there have been issues that you needed to deal with, because we are again going from this darkness, light and dark. Maybe you're going like as a yo-yo in different directions, but you're clearly not willing to build anything. You're clearly not willing to go further with this person. And I also don't, and that's why the Queen of Swords, and Queen of Swords is Aquarians usually, and but I really feel in this case is like kind of like reaching the right decision, and kind of like doing that quickly. That's what I said, like it's going to be snap moment for you to kind of like come up and understand something. Why is this Nine of Swords showing up here for me? But at the same time, guys, it sounds to me that you have learned so much from it. That you have learned, maybe you have been dealing with somebody who has been draining you in terms of finances, in terms of emotion. It could have been that, like, I mean, mental injury, that nobody's going to kind of like see the sacrifices you have made. It's not so much emotional. Emotional is like somebody breaks up with you. Mental is almost like insult, where, you know, you do so much for somebody and then you finally assert for yourself, and instead of just saying, okay, sure, sorry, you know, like sort of like at least kind of like they're like nice and decent about it, they tell you F you. And that's kind of like probably the worst part of all injuries that can actually really happen. The Devil is also about addictions and codependencies and kind of like constraints about the situation. Also, I've seen very commonly this is showing up when there's a third-party situation, where it could be a wife or somebody very, very serious, where person is in that situation also trying to break, yeah, absolutely, break that relationship, but they didn't. There is like this juggling. You have been dealing with a freaking juggler. Yeah, you know what? The more I see about this person, the more I am thinking, how in the world did you get yourself into that crap? Look at this, 7 and 8 is also 15. This is going back to the Devil. This person was such taking advantage of you. And I'm getting angry right now. Okay, and I shouldn't be, these are just cards, but I also know that at the end of these cards, it's another person over there sitting, and this person has a big heart. And that's an unfortunate part of the empath. That's why I'm sometimes like really late with readings, because it's very draining to go through your life story and experiencing as if it is mine. We have yet another 9 over here, right? And we have another 9. It's you're done with it. Put a fork in you. You're not happy to be on your own. You kind of had big plans. You really wanted to go forward. You wanted to actually have children with this person. But there's like something that you're still not acknowledging, and you will this month, that this person actually has given you a huge gift. Not them. They give you a gift of what you don't want. Most people go through life and either have too big of I don't want list, or I don't want list is just ridiculous. For you, you're really clear. First of all, you want somebody who is well situated, somebody who is kind of like having a job, possibly having something, money padding on a bank account, possibly having a house. You just simply feel that you don't want any kind of like nightmares. It looks like this person was just a one long bad nightmare that drain your batteries completely. So no wonder that this transformation is demanded from you. Trust me, guys, this transformation really has to happen. You better work on it. And how you really work on it is like by simply kind of analyzing the situation, because look at this transformation. You need to lift the burdens. I just don't know. Have you been affected physically, having some possibly physical ailments? Because that can actually be indicated over here as well. So my dear Leo, I'm signing off. Would like to hear what you have to say. If any of this resonated and you're not subscriber, this means you should become subscriber, and I don't care if you are or you're not, but these are messages that are meant for you, and that's why you have been here. So just click this button, and if you want to be invited to my live sessions, then just click the bell as well to be notified of the future stuff. This guy, it's a bad story. It's a bad story, a woman or a man. It is like time for them to kind of like really go and find another victim. And you guys are claiming yourself, which is a really good thing. If you guys want a reading with me to just really see your situation, then contact me via cattarot.ca, and all the information about me is down in the description. Okay, all the best. Love you.